Some conversations change lives. The ones we're too afraid to start, the ones that bring truth into the light. In this special series, we uncover the realities and bring awareness surrounding breast cancer, sharing stories that remind us we're not alone. Stories of survival, strength, and support. Here is a space for honest conversation and open hearts. I'm Dr. Rachel Corridon, your gentle gynecologist, and this is In the Open. In the Open, stories of survival. I'm here with Mrs. Bernadette Busby, a survivor who has been rewriting her story for 27 years. It's a story of faith, of hope, and finding courage in the face of breast cancer. Mrs. Busby, I'm so happy that you're here to share your story with us today.
Thank you.
I met you a few weeks ago. You were at an event and I heard you speak. You didn't tell your entire story, but your exuberance, the vibrance, it was just coming out of you. You were so open with your diagnosis, and it was so encouraging that I said to myself, I have to speak with Mrs. Busby. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I hope you are fine too.
I am doing well.
Great.
Tell us, Mrs. Busby, who were you at 47?
Well, at 47, I was a teacher. I taught at both schools, St. Joseph Girls RC and the Lupino RC. My husband is also a teacher, and we found difficulty in mingling teaching with home because we have children also.
Yes.
We have 3 children. Yes. And I was really a carnival designer.
Okay.
I designed costumes both for boutiques and for carnival bands. Yes, especially children's bands.
Yes.
And I loved doing that. But then I was stricken with cancer at age, I think it was 47.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were a busy woman. You were active. You were living life. You were doing everything. You were creative. You were in your space. And then time stopped.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, time stopped, you could say, for a short while. Yeah. My daughter came by and she said, Mommy, that's a lump. I said, yes. She said, well, let's go to the doctor. We made an appointment, and on going to the doctor, he said, we have to run a few tests. I said, what tests, doc? He said, well, it will take a little surgery, and then we send those tests to test. And I said, okay, well, let's test. And then he called us back about a week later. I took my husband and my daughter.
Right.
And we were holding hands, arm in arm. A bit scared, yes.
Of course.
But the results came back and he said, it's not bad, it's a good diagnosis. I said, well, yeah. You know, he said, yes, yes. It's what you say in situ. I said, what is that?
In situ.
Yes. He said it's really when the cancer has not yet gone out into the other cells.
Okay.
You know? I said, so that diagnosis means I don't have to go for any treatment. He said, oh, yes, you have to, because we don't want to think that a one little cell would get away and go anywhere else.
Correct.
I said, okay,
Yes.
all right.
So I'm thinking that in that moment, it must have been very traumatic, maybe, if for want of a better word, to hear that you have cancer. How did you feel in that moment in the doctor's office when he gave you the diagnosis?
Well, my feelings went all over the place.
Yeah.
The first feeling was that I'm going to die. Oh, dear me.
Yeah.
And then going back to the doctor's office, I'm not going to die. And then I have to go to this place. Where is it? St. James. Now, I am a country girl, eh? St. James, Port of Spain. I have to get up and down. He said, it's okay. You will go, and the doctors there, oncologist, would put you on into a treatment that would help your type of cancer and so on. I said, okay, I will go. My husband was very anxious, huh? Yes, he said, why you? Why you? You have done so much for children and so on and so on. You love people so much. I said, I'm not all that good, you know. I remember a man turned to Christ and said, call him master, master, good master. He said, who's good? There's only one good but God. See? So don't say good. We all have our downs and our ups.
Yes. And as you mentioned, the Bible, it says the rain falls on the just and the unjust.
Yes.
And a lot of us, I'm sure a lot of people that go through that diagnosis ask the question, why me? And it's a deep question. Why me? What did I do in this life?
Yes.
To have to go through this experience. But I know a pastor who says nothing is wasted.
No.
And in this moment when you are here, I can see that your experience is not wasted.
No, it isn't.
Because it's going to be an encouragement to someone else.
Yes.
So take us through, you've gotten your diagnosis, now it's time for surgery. You decided something major. You said, take it all away. Remove the breast.
Yes.
Tell me about that. That's a brave decision. Tell me about it.
Well, with my little knowledge I had of cancer, I said, let me write places. So I wrote the US, the Cancer Society actually, and they wrote me back and sent some pamphlets and of people's experiences and all of that. I read up lots of other books and so on, you know, and I said to myself, you see this? I think I will have to remove the breast. I am not going for the constructive surgery reconstruction. I am not going for the lumpectomy, because I heard sordid stories about you remove a lump and the next 2 years the lump grew back into the cancer and the next 2 years. I said no. I said to myself, I may be able to rub my hand over the area, over the chest, naked as it is.
Yes.
And I will be able to feel when the lump is occurring again. I was very timid, huh? I will tell you, I was very timid. I could not see myself. It was to me a shock. To any woman it would be.
Yeah.
But then I made that decision, you see? And I said, I'll go this way instead of any other way. Yeah.
Because for a woman, a breast, you know, it's part of her beauty. It's part of what makes you feel like a woman. For some, it's even part of the way that they feel good in terms of relations with their partner, having their breast. So I can understand that would have been a major decision, but you made it bravely.
Yes, I did. I said to myself, I am going to do this way. Lots of people would look at me when I meet my friends. Instead of their eyes are this way up on me, their eyes are down, looking at the breast. Yes. So I would say to them, I said, no, I fought a good fight.
Yes, you did.
And those same people, you know, I went to their funeral, sorry to say, but they have passed, because God is a good God and he knows his children, you know, and you stick close to him and he will guide you no matter what.
Yes. Of course, in the beginning, we spoke about the fact that you were a teacher. You were a professional woman. You were an active woman, a creative. And all of a sudden, you didn't have the access to these sources of income anymore. So it must have been a financial strain. It must have been even a strain in terms of relationship. Tell us about how it affected your family. How did you go through those challenges?
Well, honestly, financially, it was very hard, huh? Because when doctor said, go and take this scan, go and take this x-ray, he don't mean go and take the x-ray and the scan next 5 months, next 4 months. He mean go and take the x-ray now.
Now,
All right? Which hospital in Trinidad you will go take the x-ray now? They say, oh, I'll give you a date next 4 months. I'll give you a date next 8 months. By that time, I'm gone through. So I would have to stop buying food. My family would help. His friends, teacher friends, helped a lot. All right? They'll give us envelopes with money just like that. You know, because he knew our position. And he kept telling them that, you know, she has to do the scan. And the scan is 1,000 and something, sometimes 2,000 and something, x-ray and scan and what have you. And I would be going up and down. It was a rigorous trip. up and down, but we made it.
And that brings us to the issue of support. Support doesn't only come from our blood relatives, it comes from places that we wouldn't even anticipate sometimes. And for you, that came from the support group at St. James. Tell us about that group of women that you encountered.
Well, every Thursday, we would have a support group run by Sister Roach. Well, she's old. She went back to Tobago to live now. And that support group really pulled me out mentally.
Yes.
Not so much physically, mentally. I needed that. I would go with my little bag, with my little orange juice. But in the long run, I went walking straight and with my head up.
Yes.
Because they all supported us. Each supported one another, right? 12 o'clock in the night, one would call.
Yeah.
And when they do call, I would get up and we will talk and talk. Sometimes morning we'll catch us talking, right? Because at that point in time, there is a problem in their lives that needed coming out. And there is where lots of us in Trinidad, I would say, fail to address the problem right away. All right? When we have cancer, anyone, male or female, whatever, we hide it.
Yeah.
We subdue it. We think it will go away, but it's not going anywhere. The more people know about the cancer, is the more they can give you an advice.
Yeah.
Or else you would be stuck in a hole all by yourself. And that's not good.
Yes.
So that support group helped, including the family unit.
Yes.
You are home with the family unit, and they talk to you, they coax you, and they are good to you. And that helped a great deal.
And now, Miss Busby, we are 27 years on. You're a survivor. You know
yeah.
I'm a survivor.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna make it.
I made it.
Yes, you did. Tell us who you are today. How has this diagnosis changed your life?
Oh, well, it has changed my life immensely. First, when God set you free, you're free indeed.
Yes.
That's one. And two, I love people. I have the time now to sit. I live on a hill, look at the mountain, dream a little, enjoy myself.
Yes.
All right? Because I think that you ought to live.
Yeah.
Living is not just getting up, going to work, going to school, coming back, doing that.
Yeah.
Living is going out and seeing the nature, looking at the sea. That is a living in my way. Some is buying a nice clothes, buying shoes. Well, do that too. Yeah? But don't be stuck in a little bubble, and give to other people, give to children. Use that idea that you have survived it all.
Yes.
Right? To others. Let them know that God pulled me through this, you didn't pull me through this, the doctors didn't, God did. And from there, you could go from there.
Yes.
Yeah? Because if you don't understand that this is a spiritual war, it's not only a physical war, it's a spiritual war.
Yes.
And you have to have God on your side, and you hold his hand, and he'll try to see you through no matter what you're going through. And I made it.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Mrs. Busby.
Thank you.
For coming and sharing your story, your amazing story. Mrs. Busby reminds us that strength isn't just about surviving. It's about living boldly. Her story is one of courage, faith, and I love what she says at the end. We should use our story to strengthen others. This is In the Open, and this was a survival story.